Last time मैंने बताया था ना कि the chapter 8 is very unusual chapter in the Gita actually, because the and we'll come to that today. The chapter 8 talks about a different kind of mukti than jivan mukti. So जैसे हम जब वेदांत में बात करते हैं ना कि लिबरेशन, मोक्ष, so we say you are free here and now, right? And that is called jivan mukti. So basically, once you get the knowledge and you absorbed it and you're convinced of it, you got conviction, so you are free, and the rest of your life you're free. Right here, right now, you're free. तुमको कोई मरने के बाद फ्रीडम की जरूरत नहीं है, अभी अभी तुम फ्री हो. So that's called jivan mukti. And after death, then you become what's called videha mukti. Videha mukt मतलब videha का मतलब होता है body, शरीर. So basically, you don't get reborn again. So you're mukt of the videha also. You don't need a sharir also. But there's another kind of mukti which is described in Vedanta. That's called krama mukti. तो क्रमा मुक्ति का मतलब है कि तुमने सब कुछ करा इस जिंदगी में, but somehow because of various reasons, and you have the capacity for knowledge also, but for various reasons you were not able to get knowledge. Maybe you died too soon, or you couldn't meet the right guru, or for whatever reason, In that case, that person after death goes to Brahmaloka. Brahmaloka is the highest of all lokas. There are like 14 lokas. तो स्वर्गलोक भी है, ऊंचा है, बट स्वर्गलोक से भी कहीं ऊंचा है ब्रह्मलोक. तो दैट पर्सन गोज टू ब्रह्मलोक. वहां ब्रह्मा जी हैं, ब्रह्मा जी वहां रहते हैं, जो ब्रह्मा जी भगवान है. देयर आर 3 ब्रह्मा, विष्णु, महेश, राइट? सो दैट ब्रह्मा जी स्टेज इन दैट ब्रह्मलोक and he will teach you and you will get mukti there. That's called krama mukti. Krama matlab in sequence. Like you're not getting mukti here right now, but you will get mukti. You will go to Brahmalok, you will enjoy Brahmalok, and you will get mukti in Brahmalok. So this is the second kind of thing which Vedanta talks about. The two main muktis, the jivan mukti and the krama mukti. And the chapter 8 of the Gita actually talks about krama mukti. That is why it is unique. And it talks, because it's talking about krama mukti, that means you're not talking about mukti right now, right here. You're talking about travel. You're traveling to Brahmalok after death. That travel is called gati. Gati hoti hai na? Hindi mein bhi hota hai, but gati in Sanskrit means travel. So that gati is described. That gati is called Shukla Gati. Shukla means bright, white. The Shukla Gati is the gati through which a human soul, a human sukshma sharir, a deserving sukshma sharir travels to Brahmalok, and that from Brahmalok, that Shukla Gati is described, and then from Brahmalok, Brahmaji will give you knowledge and you become free, and that's called Krama Mukti. So that's why this chapter 8 is unusual, because everywhere else in the Gita, they talk about you're free now, you're Atma, you're nothing, it's your ignorance that you think is binding you and all that. This one is saying something little bit different, because some people may not have the opportunity to get that knowledge here in this world, but they have done so many good deeds. They have such a pure mind that they are ready for knowledge. It's just that they didn't get a chance. Okay? So we'll talk a little bit more about this. But इसलिए मैंने कहा था कि last time we spent a lot of time building the foundation for this. And we talked about one particular thing. We said, हम क्या हैं? हम जीवा हैं. That means we are sukshma sharir plus atma. Not this physical body. So this concept which we talked about last time, and I want to just quickly repeat right now, is कि अगर हम अपने आप को समझें कि मैं संजय हूं, इस बॉडी में हूं, that is not correct. That is not the Vedic way of looking at things. That's a very limited approach. Not just Vedanta, even Veda as a whole does not admit that all you are is this body. The Vedic way of looking at it is कि मैं संजय नहीं हूं, right? मैं जीवा हूं. जीवा का क्या मतलब होता है? जीवा का मतलब होता है one with the Atma, with the that we remember we called it the reflected Atma, the Pratibimb Atma, Chitta Bhasa, that Atma, plus a Sukshma Sharir. This Sukshma Sharir plus the Atma is Jiva. And this Jiva goes through multiple lives, right? So Sanjay as the Jiva started infinitely, Anadi. Anadi ka matlab without a beginning. Like always been there, badi purana, and has been taking various bodies in various lokas over time. So, and how does it decide which body to take and which loka to go? Depending upon your karma, right? So अगर आपने कर्म करे हैं, अच्छे कर्म करे हैं, and your prarabdha says you have to now get the benefits of those अच्छे कर्म, पुण्य करा है, right? तो पुण्य का जो result है वो you will get by getting maybe a human birth, जैसे अभी है. So you got a human birth on Prithvi. This is a wonderful opportunity. Why? Because as a human being, you have the opportunity to do what you're doing just now, to actually start gaining knowledge. You can't do this in any other birth. And either as a human being, there are only two places. One, human being on earth. The second, as a jiva in Brahmaloka, krama mukti, right? Only these two places you can get moksha. On the earth, planet earth, you get jivan mukti if you have the knowledge. But if you are lucky enough to say, I did so many good things and now in the next janam you will go to Brahmaloka, you will get krama mukti there. Same thing. I mean, it doesn't matter. Same, Brahmaji will give you this. You need to have knowledge. Without knowledge, there is no mukti. So either you'll get the knowledge here on this earth by reading the scriptures, talking to a guru, or you'll get knowledge in Brahmaloka through Brahmaji. So that's the whole thing. So you are a jiva, Sanjay. Think about it. And mukta. You've had countless lives. The physical body and the physical loka, that means Prithvi Lok, Brahma Lok, Swarg Lok, whatever you've been to, depends on what your prarabdha is, what karams you've done, what punya and pap you've done. And this will continue the cycle till you get moksha, till you get liberation. And two types of liberation, jivan mukti on planet earth, krama mukti in Brahmaloka. And like I said, these are the only two places where you can get mukti. Even if you go to Swarg, which is also supposed to be a great, wonderful experience, you will not get mukti there. अगर तुमने बड़े अच्छे काम करे, पुण्य कमाया, but you're not ready for knowledge. You're not, अभी आपको दिखाऊंगा मैं कैसे वो होता है. तुमने वो knowledge के लिए ready नहीं हो, पर अच्छे काम करे, लोगों के लिए अच्छा करा, society के लिए अच्छा करा, सारे अपने कर्म किए, सब कुछ करा. But you still consider yourself as an individual. You will go to Swarg. You will enjoy Swarg. But once your punya is over, once all those karmas are over, you will come back from Swarg. You'll come back to earth or some other loka. Your journey will continue. Only two places you can get liberation is as a jiva, human being, on this earth, or in Brahmaloka. And Brahmaloka is very, very hard to get to. It's not you need to have done some really good tapas and really good karmas and really good upasana to get to Brahmaloka. Okay. So this is what I was trying to tell you last time in terms of we are now thinking of ourselves as a jiva, we are still not thinking of ourselves as Atma. That comes with knowledge. But we are thinking of ourselves as jiva, not as a physical body. And this is, अगर आप देखो, ये तो हमारे कल्चर में है ही. Paap and pun would not be possible if we only think about ourselves as a physical body. Because पाप और पुण्य का जो फल है वो हमको हमेशा, पाप का मतलब क्या हुआ, कुछ ऐसा काम करा जिससे तुमको अगले जन्म में या अपनी मौत के बाद कुछ उसका बुरा काम मिलेगा. पुण्य का क्या हुआ, उसका अच्छा फल आफ्टर डेथ. That's what पाप and पुण्य is. It's called adrishta phala. Adrishta. Drishta means something which is visible right now, that you can see. Adrishta means something you cannot see. So Pap and Pun are Adrishta. They happen after, the results of them happen after death. Other कर्मास के अभी भी रिजल्ट्स हो सकते हैं. सो द फैक्ट कि हम पाप और पुण्य में बिलीव करते हैं, वी गो टू द टेम्पल, वी से ऑल दीज थिंग्स आफ्टर डेथ, वी वांट, इट मींस वी आर ऑलरेडी थिंकिंग इन समवेयर डीप इन आवर माइंड, वी आर थिंकिंग ऑफ आवरसेल्व्स नॉट एज दिस बॉडी बट एज अ सटल बॉडी व्हिच ट्रैवल्स आफ्टर डेथ. सो इफ यू अपने मन को टटोलेंगे ना, तो वी विल फाइंड दैट इज ऑलरेडी देयर. वी मे नॉट एडमिट इट ऑल द टाइम because we are, we have learned all these Western concepts and all this education and all of that, but that feeling is there in us already, deep inside, because of the culture that we are brought up in. And that is a Vedic concept, not Vedantic necessarily, but Vedic concept. Okay? Sankhya, Veda, Sare, all these religions, Jainism, they all believe in it. Okay, so now I'm going to, this is one concept to get you started for chapter 8. There's a second thing, related thing that I want to share with you, because then you will have the full context to truly appreciate chapter 8. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. कहाँ गया? There it is. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. गलत जगह आ गया. This one. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our Vedas, because Vedanta is not different from Vedas. It's basically part and parcel of the Veda. It's not to say कि वेद कुछ कहता है और वेदांत कुछ और कहता है. नहीं. Vedanta is part of Veda. So I think this is an important concept to understand, because then you will understand our Vedic culture, how we think. So the हमारे वेद है ना, actually they are brilliant documents. They kind of lay out a path for life. They are, अगर आप, मैंने अभी तक आपसे 2 हिस्सों में कहा है वेद का, but actually speaking, if you look closely, there are 3 parts to the Ved. One part is called the Karam Kandam. ठीक है, ये जो नीचे मैंने लिखा है यहाँ पे, कर्म कांडम. The second part is called the Upasana Kandam, and the third is the Gyan Kandam. The Gyan Kandam is also called Vedanta. This is where all the Upanishads are. ठीक है? So stop me if you don't understand this. But it's very simple stuff. Now, Karam Kandam जो है ना, it describes various karmas. In Ved, when we say karma, we don't mean doing professional job. In Ved, when we say karma, it means doing yajna. Yajna is karma. So जैसे वेद में कहते हैं, एक कर्मा है, it's called अग्निहोत्री पूजा, अग्निहोत्री. That Agnihotri puja is supposed to be done in a particular way. You have to be married for it. Your wife should be with you, right? And half of your pun goes to the wife, by the way. That is a Vedic concept. जो भी तुमने पुन कमाया, आधा तुम्हारी बीवी को जाएगा. जो पाप कमाया, वो बीवी को नहीं जाएगा, सिर्फ पुन जाएगा. Okay. So that's a true Vedic concept. So now, and you can't do the karma without the wife. You can't say कि मैंने अकेले करना है ये अग्निहोत्री कर्मा. And it is a Nimitta karma. That means it's a karma that you are enjoined, you have to do by your duty. ठीक है? तुमको पूजा करनी है, अग्निहोत्री पूजा. So तुम्हारी बीवी has to be next to you, so you have to better take care of your बीवी and be in good terms with her. Because if she is not there, your karma is gone. Your karma is gone, your Swarglok is gone. Basically. You wanted to go to Swarg, do Agnihotri karma every day. ठीक है? So Agnihotri karma actually has to be done multiple times a day. So उसमें you do puja of the sun and all that, and they describe कि एक fire होनी चाहिए. The fire should burn precisely, in a very roaring fire, properly it should burn. There are 7 categories of fire, सारी दिखनी चाहिए. 7 classes of fire, blue fire, yellow fire, ये fire, वैसे कैसे होता है. ठीक है, so ये describe करते हैं अग्निहोत्र. This is the karma. Another karma is called Sandhya Upasana. Now, Sandhya Upasana means it has to be done in the morning when the sun rises, and in the evening when the sun is setting, and during the noon time when the sun is high overhead. So these are three upasanas. All the upasanas require fire. I mean, not upasana, sorry, karma. All these are karmas. Karmas require fire. ठीक है? That is just a, हवन जिसे कहते हैं ना, तो वो कर्मास हैं. So वेदा में बड़े सारे कर्मा डिस्क्राइब करे गए हैं. And there are two kinds of karmas. One is called sakama karma, and the other is called nishkama karma. Sakama karma, kama means desire. Sakama means with desire. So a person who does a karma with a desire, like I really want to have a son, and I have tried, I can't get a son, I can't get a child. हो ही नहीं रहा, like something must be wrong. So then finally you decide, okay, मैं some priest के पास गए. Priest कहते हैं, you do something called, क्या कहते हैं, पुत्रेष्ट puja or something like that. उससे you will get a son. So now that has got austerities involved. You have to do fasting, you have to call a bunch of priests. Then you do some karma. It's called sakama karma. It's called sakama karma because while you're doing the karma, your mind is on the sun. The reason you're doing this karma is because you want to get something back in return, your son. It's a material reason. You can also do these karmas and yajnas for prosperity, कि तुमको लगता है कि मेरी business should go well, तो मैंने ये कर्मा करा, उससे business के लिए अच्छा होगा. These are all sakama karmas. This is a very sansaric thing. Veda has a lot of these karmas. शादी करी, अच्छी होनी चाहिए, sakama karma. I want peace in the family, sakama karma. I want money, I want security, I want some bandhan to be removed, मेरे बच्चे की शादी नहीं हो रही. Bunch of things are there, sakama karma. Veda Karma Kanda is full of them. This, as long as you are a kami karmi, इसे कहते हैं kami karmi, मतलब you're basically doing your karmas for a desire. As long as you are doing this, you're a sansari. Now you can immediately make a parallel also with the karmas that you do for your work. Sanjay is a doctor. Sanjay became a doctor because he wants to earn money. He does a good job, great, wonderful, all dharmic and everything, doesn't cheat anybody, but he works hard. Why does he work hard? He wants money, he wants security for his family. That money will give, for future children, it will leave him some legacy. ठीक है, सब कुछ. That's a sakama karma. It may not be a Vedic karma because it doesn't involve fire, it doesn't involve ritual. It's a Laukic karma. Laukic karma means, I'm sorry, I'm just putting all these terms out, but you don't have to remember it. Laukic karma just means loka, karma related to the lok. Prithvi lok ke related karma hai, Prithvi lok mein rehne ke liye, it's called a Laukic karma. Vedic karma is a karma which involves fire and has all these austerities involved, and जिसे हम yajna कहते हैं ना, yajna, that is a Vedic karma. So this is sakama karma. A sakama karma करने वाला is just a samsari. हम सब करते हैं sakama karma. There is nobody in this world who doesn't do sakama karma. सबको जीना है. Even a beggar does sakama karma. He also gets up, goes out, begs, figures out which is the best place to beg, कहाँ पे ज़्यादा rush है, क्या messages क्या करने हैं, सब कुछ करा के. This is sakama karma. This is not religion. Up till here, you are basically a samsari. Okay? Clear so far?
Yeah.
Veda helps you as a samsari.
Yeah.
It tells you how to do these things properly in a dharmic way as a samsari. So that you get what? You get artha, kama, dharma. You get prosperity, you get security, and you do it in a dharmic way. So you do it in a peaceful way. तो अच्छी तरह से जिंदगी रहो. वेद तुमको सिखाता है ये सब कुछ. लेकिन मुमुक्षु नहीं है यहाँ तक. उसको कोई मोक्षा का दर्द नहीं है, वो नहीं है. Here on, this onwards is a mukshu. There's a second kind of karma. It's called nishkam karma. These karmas are also there in Veda, but they are not for a particular material benefit. They just have to be done. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया अग्निहोत्री कर्मा, संध्या वंदनम. Sandhya Vandanam is a very important karma to be done 3 times a day. उसका कोई हम पूजा करते हैं, these people do that संध्या वंदन, they are not doing it for a material cause. They are just doing it because it has to be done, because Veda says you have to do it. That kind of a karma, which to us may seem, why the hell would I do something? This is superstitious. क्यों मैं कर्मा करूं जिसका कोई फल ही नहीं है, रीजन ही नहीं है? They are doing it to gain antakarna shuddhi. That is a very important part. That is what is karam yoga actually. When you do nishkam karma, that is karam yoga. So from a Vedic perspective, karam yoga means to do all the karmas which are, like Agnihotri and Sandhya Vandam, jo maine aapko bataya. From a logic perspective, people like us who are not exposed to the Ved, who are not living a Vedic life necessarily, for us, karma yoga would mean, nishkam karma would mean, do work that we are doing, but not for the money that it will give you. Do it because it will give you, seek from it antakarna shuddhi. If you begin to do your work without looking at the results of the work, not doing it because, oh, I'm going to do this work because this will give me more money versus that work will give me less money. Not like that. Do it because it's work that has to be done. Maybe it benefits society. Maybe it's the right thing to do. तुम्हारा मन कहता है मैं डॉक्टर हूं तो मेरा काम है लोगों की सेवा करना, लोगों को क्योर करना. Do it with that thing. When you start doing work like that, the result of that is going to be antakarna shuddhi. Your mind will purify. Your raga, dvesha, your desires will become less and less because you're not feeding your desires. तो कहते हैं ना, जिसको तुम फीड करोगे वही बढ़ेगा. You're feeding your sense of duty, not your desire. That is why that is nishkam karna. That is why that's karam yoga. ठीक है? Gita जो है, the biggest, I would say, amongst all the different shrutis which are out there, amongst all the different, scriptures which are out there, the biggest contribution in my mind of the Gita is this understanding of Karma Yoga. It lays out, it puts so much stress on Karma Yoga. It tells you what Karma Yoga means, how to do your work with devotion to God, with devotion to others. So that, why? So that you benefit. You benefit by antakarna shuddhi. Now, the point here is, antakarna shuddhi is yogyata for knowledge, okay? Is required for knowledge. Now, I'm talking to you. This may connect with you. You might say, yeah, I want to do nishkam karma. You may have a desire to do that in your mind. Why? Because you value antakarna shuddhi. And why do you value antakarna shuddhi? Because you value moksha. There is no moksha possible without antakarna shuddhi. Moksha is just a concept if you don't have antakarna shuddhi. It's just something on paper, just a thought in your head. For moksha, you need antakarna shuddhi. You know that. Therefore, for you, nishkam karma will be more valuable than a sakam karma. Because you'll say, sakam karma se to main aur paise kama lunga, but moksha nahi kamaunga. For moksha, I have to do nishkam karma. So you're not going to do this because of some feeling of, self-sacrifice. You're going to do this out of enlightened self-interest. Because now your desire has changed. You're no longer wanting just artha, kama, and dharma. You are wanting moksha. And the way to get moksha is through antakarna shuddhi. And the way to get antakarna shuddhi is through nishkam karma. Right? It is a requirement. It's like a yogyata, जिसे कहते हैं ना, yogyata for knowledge. Actually, moksha comes from knowledge. It comes from Gyan Kandam. But that Gyan Kandam तुमको समझ ही नहीं आएगा अगर तुम्हारे मन में already इतनी सारे desires हैं. अगर desire है, hatred है, क्रोध है, then वो समझ ही नहीं आएगा. वो मतलब that thing will not register. Only when your mind is pure will that knowledge of Gyan Kandam actually start making an impact, and it will start changing your life and lead you to moksha. So this is nishkam karma. Now, any questions so far?
नहीं, ठीक है.
Okay. Now, this is the beauty of part of the Ved, right? It helps a person who's a kami karma also, sakam karma, nishkam, dono ko help karta hai. There's a second aspect of the Ved, it's called the Upasana Kandam. जो उपासना कांडम है, उपासना और कर्मा में फर्क है. उपासना डजंट मीन पूजा. पूजा इज कर्मा. पूजा का मतलब वो आपने जोत जलाई, भगवान का नाम लिया, मंत्र बोले, पाठ बोले, दैट्स ऑल कर्मा. इट्स वाचिका कर्मा, ये बोल रहे हो, दैट्स ऑल वैदिक कर्मा. पूजा इज वैदिक कर्मा. इट्स ऑल पार्ट ऑफ कर्मा. उपासना इज व्हाट इज ऑफन रेफर्ड टू एज मेडिटेशन. उपासना का मतलब है कि तुम it's मानसिक, all मानसिक activity, it's mental activity. Basically what you're doing is you're taking an object and superimposing Ishwar onto that object. That is upasana. Or actually taking one object and superimposing something else on it is upasana. So there are some things called shaligram, which is a stone which you find only in Nepal. It's supposed to be a very precious object for upasana. तो शालिग्राम लिया, उसके ऊपर तुम सोचो वो विष्णु है. So you look at the shaligram, you mentally pray to the shaligram, mentally meditate on the shaligram, all the while imagining that shaligram is not just a stone. It is actually Bhagwan himself, Vishnu himself, Saguna Vishnu. That's called upasana. ठीक है? So when you see Gautam Buddha बौद्ध ट्री के नीचे बैठे हुए हैं, he is doing upasana. He is not doing puja. There is no fire, no nothing. कोई मंत्र नहीं बोल रहे हैं. He is in his mind, he is concentrating on something and imagining that thing to be something else. You can concentrate on a jyoti and focus on the jyoti and imagine that the jyoti is God. So that is how you focus on God, on Ishwar. That is upasana, right? And Veds are full of upasanas. There are like hundreds of different kinds of upasanas which are mentioned in the Ved. You know, Agni upasana hai. You can think of like jitna pata like jahan pe bhi tumhara man jata hai, you can think of an upasana around that from the Ved. Even the actually the Upanishads. Take Chandogya Upanishad. Chandogya Upanishad is a very famous Upanishad. उसके 8 chapters हैं. पहले 5 chapters of Chandogya Upanishad itself is all about upasanas. They describe the different kind of upasanas you can do. Only the last 3 chapters of Chandogya, 6, 7, and 8, talk about Gyan. Right? So even the Vedanta mein bhi upasana aata. So upasana kind of crosses the boundary between, you know, what's karma and what's Gyan. It's sort of the transition thing. And the reason for doing upasana is to get, you have to do nishkam upasana. The reason for doing it is to get antakarna naishchalya. Naishchalya means stillness of the mind. You get focus, concentration. Karam gives you purity of the mind. It purifies your mind. Upasana gives you focus, the ability to still your mind, not be distracted. There also, in Upasana also, by the way, there's the Nishkam Upasana and Sakam Upasana. A lot of people do Sakam Upasana. And you have seen this in various Puranas and all that. People get different siddhis and powers by Upasana. They can look at the future. They can change your thoughts. They can do all kinds of things, you know, like Rishi Muni karte hain. That's all Sakam Upasana. That is not what we are talking about. Sakam Upasana makes you a samsari. Makes you a very powerful samsari, but you're still a samsari. Vedanta is talking about Nishkam Upasana. You're doing the Upasana not to gain any special powers, but you're doing it to gain mental stillness. So with mental purity, Antakarna Shuddhi, combined with mental stillness and focus, Antakarna Naishchalya, now you are ready for Gyan. Now Gyan will come easily to you. As Swami, the one I've been listening to, Paramarthananda, he says, you will glide into Gyan. The reason that we don't glide into Gyan is because we are not yet, we haven't done karma and upasana. That means we still don't have full amount of antakarna shuddhi, nor do we have full amount of antakarna naishchalya. So we are struggling with the Gyan. थोड़ा समझ आता है, फिर भूल जाते हैं, फिर इधर होता है, फिर उधर होता है. So what are we doing? We are saying, as we are learning Gyan, we have to focus on these things. Well, maybe not Vedic Upasana and Vedic Karma, but on हमारे जीवन में we have to do Karma Yoga and meditation as needed. So we continue to do that because that keeps building our muscles, our spiritual muscle, through karma and upasana. And as the spiritual muscle gets built, we have more ability to acquire this knowledge, which is taking us to moksha. Okay? So this is the reason I wanted to share this with you, is so that you understand the context of the Ved as a whole. The whole of the Ved is beautiful. Ultimately it's leading us to Gyan, but it's taking us through steps. Now you think about the 4 ashrams, right? संजय तू इसके बारे में बड़ी बातें करता था शुरू में, मुझे याद है कि बच्चों को भी सिखाना चाहिए. Brahmacharya, during Brahmacharya, this whole thing is explained to a young fellow. Usko roadmap, this is a roadmap. Karma, Upasana, Gyan. The whole roadmap is shared out with him. He is supposed to learn it. Upasana, he will actually by heart learn some of the Upanishads. He will learn some of the karmas and upasanas. He will start doing upasana. समझ कुछ नहीं आ रहा उसको पूरी तरह से, लेकिन उसके मन में कहीं बस गया है ये बात. They don't expect him to be a Gyani. They just want him to be aware that there is something called Gyan Kanda. There is something called moksha. So that seed is sown somewhere in the back of the mind. Right? Then you go to the next stage. So this is all you're teaching. You learn the Vedas when you were a young fellow. Then you're in your teens and now you move to the next ashram, which is Grihasth. In Grihasth, your focus is Karma Kandam. First, as a Grihastha, you will focus on Sakam Karma more and more because you have to build your house. Gradually, you will focus on Nishkam Karma. You will have to do those karmas which are enjoined in your Grihastha. You will do Agnihotri, you will do Sandhya Vandanam, you will do the Nimitta karmas, all of them. And you will slowly, as you get maturity, you'll begin to understand why you're doing them. And what does it mean to have a pure mind? By the time you're done with Grihastha ashram, you already have enough antakarna shuddhi because of this. So when you're 50 years old or something and you're done with Grihastha, you had a lot of experience in life. You know that dharma and artha and kama is not going to give you lasting satisfaction. You've had those experiences. You have done enough nishkam karma. You're saying, I have now enough purity. You're ready for vanaprastha. In vanaprastha, which is the next one, you focus on upasana. Basically, vanaprastha means, it doesn't mean that you have to go into the vana. You don't have to go into the jungle. You basically give up the responsibilities to the next generation. Suppose aapki business hai, then you will give your business to your children and say, you run it now. My job is, I'm done. I'm going to spend my time with upasana. I'm going to spend my time studying the scriptures with upasana. That's what you do in vanaprastha. What are you doing? You're gaining antakarna naishchalya. You're basically gaining the ability to focus, to be able to not be distracted by other things, but to be able to focus on your job, which is to gain knowledge. Just focus your mind, sharpen your mind. And the final stage is sannyas, where you're done with all of this. And as Swami Paramarthananda says, if you've done the duties of brahmacharya, grihasth, and vanaprastha diligently, you will have antakarna shuddhi and antakarna naishchalya, and during sannyas, you will find a guru and you will glide into knowledge. You will listen to things a few times, they will start making sense to you, you will have clarity, and moksha is going to be the end result. So this is the vision of our Vedic culture, of how we, from ages past have thought about the journey of life. Right? Of course, this doesn't happen for everybody. So many people are caught up in the sakam karma itself. वो बार बार उन्हीं का तो जीवन, हमारा भी पता नहीं कितने lifetimes we've been just round and round in sakam karma and being born here, being born there, going to Swarg, going to Narak, going to करके कितनी बार कर रहे हैं. Now finally we are saying, you know what, there's something more. Right? So we are entering into this realm of nishkam karma, nishkam upasana, and Gyan Kanda. We may not be doing it in sequence as written in the Ved, but we are doing it all together. And we, as long as we understand what we are doing, as long as we understand the importance of each of these things and how part of what we do is we are seeking knowledge, part of what we are doing is building capability for that knowledge, as long as we understand it, we can do all the things properly. And this is how we proceed. This is our journey from here on, you know, yours, mine, everybody's. Clear so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So now why did we say all this? Where does chapter 8 come in? So chapter 8 में the main thrust of chapter 8 जो गति है वो कहती है कि suppose you are, कृष्ण भगवान कहते हैं अर्जुन को कि suppose तुम निष्काम कर्म कर रहे हो and तुमने खूब निष्काम कर्म करे हैं and you have built this capability, but before you reached up and up further, you died. What is going to be your gati? You don't have knowledge right now, right? You just purity of mind, you don't have knowledge, so you're not liberated. Your gati is going to be, it's called the Shukla Gati. It's the Shukla Gati takes you to Swarglok. Shukla means dark. That takes you to Swarglok. And once you're in Swargalok, you will enjoy the Swargalok because of your good work that you've done, the good karmas you've done. Swargalok gives you tremendous enjoyment, you know, multiple times the enjoyment that you will get over here in the earth. You'll have a much better body, much better mind. You'll be able to appreciate much more subtle things. The environment is going to be much, much better than you see here. It's all punya, all the good things you've done. But it is a path of return. You return from there. It is not a path of no return. So Swarg se tum wapas aoge. That's Krishna Gati. Okay? And then you start your journey again. You may be born, as Krishna Bhagavan says, you may be born, next time you come to the earth, you may be born in a very good family, in a yogic family, in a family or an environment where there's a lot of Gyan being done. So it'll accelerate because you've done a lot already. So next time you'll have an accelerated path, right? And then you will continue on your journey here on earth. What if...
No, this is Shukla Gati.
No, this is Krishna Gati.
The Krishna Gati.
Yeah, Krishna means dark. See, this
Dark.
is the Krishna Gati. Now I'm talking about Shukla Gati. What if you are here and you die? Now here too, you have not had knowledge. Because Gyan to abhi tum pahunche nahi ho. But you are much, much more capable than here. In other words, your yogyata समझते हो ना, हिंदी वर्ड है योग्यता मतलब तुम्हारी कैपेबिलिटी, तुम्हारा अधिकारित्व, तुम्हारी योग्यता कहीं ज्यादा है. You are ready for knowledge. Basically, there is no reason why you shouldn't get knowledge. You're at the verge. Some unfortunate incident has happened because you have done so much punya, you have so much clarity of mind, you have so much focus of your mind, but somehow you couldn't meet the guru, or the guru got sick, or some unfortunate incident happened and you were unable to complete your education here on earth. You couldn't get Gyan Kanda. These are very rare people, like 1 in a million who have this kind of capability. What will happen to them after they die? These people will follow the Shukla Gati. Shukla Gati means the bright path, the solar path. The Krishna Gati is the lunar path. This is the solar path. These people will follow the solar path and they will go not to Swarg. They will go way higher than Swarg. They will go to Brahmaloka. Brahmalok is the ultimate lok. That is where Brahmaji lives. In that loka, each day of Brahmaji is 2000 Chaturyugas. And Brahmaji lives for 100 years of those. It's a long... And you have Vedas describe all kinds of capabilities. You learn, you get all kinds of siddhis. You are able to, what's called, through kalpa, through sankalp, you're able to generate things. तुमको भूख लगी है, बड़ा अच्छा कुछ खाने को दिल कर रहा है, तुम सोचो और वो तुम्हारे सामने आ जाएगी. That is how things are generated anyway, through the sankalp of God. But you will have that power to, so there are all these siddhis. You'll have the power to generate through your sankalpa things that you want. So all of those siddhis are there possible in Brahmalok. But that's not why you've gone to Brahmalok. Those you will enjoy because of your good karmas. You've gone to Brahmalok because there, Brahma Bhagwan, Brahmaji is going to teach you this Gyan Kanda. And then you will get moksha. And udhar bhi, जो ब्रह्मलोक का होता है ना, ब्रह्मा जी का, जैसे हमारी लाइफ टाइम है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल क्या होता है? दिन और रात. Every night we go to bed, we get resolved into our own self. Every morning we wake up. That's the first cycle. Then the cycle of our life. Every lifetime we wake up to a new body, go to sleep at death, wake up to a new body, right? That's the second cycle. This is the ultimate cycle. This is the cycle of Brahmaji. A Brahmaji is born in Brahmaloka. Every day of Brahmaji is equal to 2000 Chaturyugas, which is like thousands of years. Brahmaji lives for 100 years, then he dies. When Brahmaji dies, that is called Pralay. The whole world is gone, resolved. Then Brahmaji wakes up again. A new jiva becomes Brahmaji. Brahmaji is an exalted jiva. A new soul becomes Brahmaji, takes the status of Brahmaji. Then the world recreates. So that is the Pralay cycle. That is the biggest possible cycle. You will be in Brahmalok till the end of this cycle. And at the next Pralay, you will get Videha Mukti. You're done. Basically, because that is what krama mukti is. Okay? And the path to get there is called Shukla Gati. And the path to Swarglok is called Krishna Gati.
Krishna Gati.
This is what is described in Gita. And next time I will actually take you through those shloks. There are 4 or 5 shloks. And actually this Gati is described in a very summarized way in the Gita. But Bhagwan Krishna expects you to know the detailed details behind it. And the details behind it are given in the Chandogya Upanishad and the Brihadaryanka Upanishad. So usme they are described in much more detail. How the Gati happens. You know, there's an internal journey, which Sanjay, I think I mentioned to you earlier. There's an internal journey and an external journey. The internal journey is how your jiva, your sense organs, your subtle body consolidate itself at the time of death, consolidates itself in your heart, hridayam, and then goes out of one of the pores of your body. And the external journey is, once it's outside the body, this compact jiva moves to a new loka and is guided by different devtas at different times to take you there. Okay? So I'll share that with you the next time around, because I think it's too much otherwise. And it'll take some time. So I'll share that with you, and I'll also tell you what is written in the Gita and what is outside of the Gita. Okay? But it's very interesting. I mean, whether you believe it completely or not, it's part of our culture. Good to know. And very interesting. And, you know, there's no reason why you shouldn't believe it. It's there in the Shastras.
नहीं, पर ये तो चलो 2 गति हो गई ना, कृष्णा गति एंड शुक्ला गति. बट एक नॉर्मल पर्सन की कौन सी गति होगी?
They don't have a name for it, but they call it all the other gatis, the anya gatis.
अच्छा, अन्य गति.
So I'll give you the name. मेरे को याद नहीं आ रहा exact name, but it's a cluster of everything else. So these 2 gatis are important and mentioned in the Gita. Because
ये तो एक डिस्टिंक्ट क्लास होगी ना, मतलब जो लोग उस लेवल पे पहुंचे, चलो नहीं, उनके लिए ये 2 राउट्स हो गए ना.
जो इस लेवल पे पहुंचे हैं।
हाँ
हाँ,
पर
जो इधर भी नहीं
बाकी
पहुंचे
भी
उनके
तो
लिए तो बहुत सारी डिफरेंट गतिज हैं, which have not
हाँ
been described either in the Chandogya Upanishad. They just say there are other gatis. They don't say exactly how it is
मतलब
done.
ये तो दो बड़े हाई लेवल की गतिज हो गई ना ये तो
Exactly, the high level
है
gati.
ना ऑन द लैडर ये तो बिल्कुल जो टू टॉप टियर वाली हो गई ना
Yes, you're talking about people here who are sakama
हाँ
karmis.
पीपल हियर एंड
What
इवन
happens to them?
पीपल इससे भी नीचे वाले जो लोग हैं
नहीं, इससे नीचे कोई नहीं है, ये सब करते हैं सकामा कर्मा। मतलब वेदा जो है
काम
किसी को छोड़ता नहीं है।
हम्म
वेदा इज देयर फॉर एवरी पर्सन, इवन अ क्रिमिनल, वो भी सकाम कर्मी है।
भाई सकामा कर्मा भी डिफरेंट लेवल ऑफ लोग होंगे ना
यस,
भाई एक बिल्कुल एट द प्योर लेवल पे काम कर रहा है एक बिल्कुल साला बदमाशी के लेवल पे काम कर रहा है
ट्रू, या।
ठीक है ना एक मिक्स लेवल पे काम कर रहे हैं तो डिफरेंट परमुटेशंस एंड
So basically
कॉम्बिनेशंस
these
होंगे
gatis, what they do is they will take you to different lokas. So स्वर्ग
हाँ
तो तुम पहुंचोगे नहीं, बिकॉज स्वर्ग के लिए तो
हाँ
यू नीड निष्काम कर्मा। तो
हाँ
उसके
जी
नीचे बड़े सारे लोकास हैं।
हाँ
Some lokas are underneath the earth also, patal lokas.
बता लो
There are 7 of them which are below and 7 which are above. So
ओके
these gatis take you to, depending upon what you've done and where your next janam is destined to be because of your karmas, the gatis take you to different places, right? So there are multiple gatis which goes to all these different lokas,
हाँ
which have not been, at least I am not familiar with them. To the best of my knowledge, have not been described in
नहीं
the,
ठीक है इट्स जस्ट अ
हाँ,
ब्रॉड
मैं सुन लूँ।
आउटलाइन या
बाकी वेदास में जरूर होंगे, मेरे को नहीं पता। बट
हम्म
कृष्ण भगवान इन गीता डिस्क्राइब्स दीज टू गतिज बिकॉज अर्जुन ने पूछा था उनसे, व्हाट विल हैपन टू मी इफ आई डाई बिफोर आई गेन फुल नॉलेज, राइट? सो ही इज ट्राइंग टू टेल हिम, घबराओ मत, you do get on your path and we will take care of you. That's what he was trying to say.
चलो ठीक है
ठीक है, मैं सोच रहा हूँ anything, I think this was pretty much it.
हाँ नहीं काफी काफी हो गया आज
Mukta, any question, anything?
नहीं ठीक है मैं थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूज वहाँ शुरू शुरू में हुई थी
कहाँ पे?
जब आपने स्टार्ट किया था तो जब जीवा को डिस्क्राइब कर रहे थे आप
Sanjay, if you
कि
want to
सटल बॉडी
leave, feel free because I don't know what it is like
नहीं
now.
नहीं कोई नहीं कोई आई एम
अच्छा,
ओके
okay.
कि सटल बॉडी जो सूक्ष्म शरीर एंड जीवा का शुरू में जो आपने बोला था ना
Okay, so jiva means, so there's something called the atma.
या
ठीक है,
यही था कि आपने सोल बोला था
हाँ, soul
तो
मैंने कहा था just
हम
to
सोल
loosely
किसे कह
describe,
रहे हैं
loosely described as soul, but soul is not a word which is
that
used.
you are calling soul the subtle body
Yes,
यस
okay
but it's not, there is no
and
subtle body by
jiva
itself.
jiva को तुम how are you describing jiva
Okay, so let me so think about it this way. There is the atma.
atma is the subtle body
No, atma
uh,
is Brahman.
okay
Atma is
okay
a
okay
non-dual atma, which
yeah
we
yeah
all
no,
are.
I get it with that brahman thing I get it
Yes, right? That's atma.
okay mm-hmm.
Now, if you remember, we talked about it कि जो आत्मा है उसका एक प्रतिबिंब होता है, इट्स कॉल्ड चित्ता भाषा। यू रिमेम्बर
okay
हमने कहा
yeah
था कि
yeah
अगर
yeah
आप समझो कि आपने बड़ी सारी बकेट्स रखी हुई हैं विद वाटर इन देम एंड द
yeah
सन इज
yeah
शाइनिंग, ईच बकेट विल हैव अ रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ द सन,
the reflected consciousness
the reflected consciousness. Then you think that
okay
consciousness, that reflected consciousness is a separate, you'll think if there are 15 buckets there, you'll think there are 15 different suns shining. There is
mm-hmm.
only one sun, there's only one atma,
Mm-hmm.
but you feel as if there are 15 different atmas.
yeah
That is called the reflected consciousness.
yeah
So in every mind, in every subtle body, the subtle body is like a bucket.
mm-hmm.
It has the ability to reflect consciousness. It's like the water in the bucket, subtle body. It reflects consciousness and it begins to believe, and we think that consciousness which it is reflecting in itself is the Atma, is separate, because ये मेरी consciousness है जो मेरे में reflect हो रही है, वो मुक्ता की consciousness है, मुक्ता में reflect हो रही है, वो संजय की है जो संजय में reflect हो रही है. हमको सब अलग अलग, बिकॉज हम तो सोचते हैं अलग अलग बकेट्स हैं. इन रियलिटी हमको पता नहीं है कि देयर इज ओनली वन सन जिसकी शैडो, जिसकी रिफ्लेक्शन हम में आ रही है. तो जो मेरी रिफ्लेक्टेड कॉन्शियसनेस है जो मेरे मन में है, जो तेरे मन में है, संजय के मन में है, वो एक ही है. It's just that my subtle body is reflecting that consciousness in such a way I feel that is my consciousness only because it's reflected in me. Just like in the bucket of water, we feel that every bucket has its own sun. Not true. So, आत्मा तो एक ही है. चित्त भाषा मेरे मन में है. I assume that चित्त भाषा is mine only. My आत्मा only. ठीक है, वो एक, that is one part, चित्त भाषा आत्मा. उसके साथ there is a subtle body. उसके बाहर subtle body is the mind. वो mind जिसमें वो चित्त भाषा आत्मा रिफ्लेक्ट हो रही है.
Okay.
If the mind goes, the चित्त भाषा आभास will also go, because कोई रिफ्लेक्ट करने के लिए है ही नहीं.
ठीक है.
So what will happen? The chitta bhasa will go. All you will see is the atma. There will be just the atma remaining. So when you get moksha and subtle body goes, chitta bhasa atma is also gone. It's as if you merged into the actual sun. Right? You merged into the atma. Okay, so that is the subtle body around it. Subtle body ke baad there is the physical body. These three together is called the jiva. But there's a difference. When we think of these three together as the jiva, then we will start thinking कि the physical body जो है वो तो बार change होती रहती है. अब पहले आई दूसरी आई, पहले गई दूसरी आई, पहले आई दूसरी गई. ठीक है, तो अगर तुम समझोगे कि ये तीन टुगेदर जीवा है, तो तुम कहोगे वो जीवा तो मर गया बिकॉज फिजिकल बॉडी गई. लेकिन वो जीवा नहीं मरा, क्योंकि वो फिजिकल बॉडी गई है लेकिन सटल बॉडी वही की वही है. और चित्तभासा आत्मा इन द सटल बॉडी भी वही है. द चित्तभासा आत्मा इन द सटल बॉडी एंड द सटल बॉडी इज द सेम. इट हैज नॉट डाइड. इट्स जस्ट द आउटर लेयर, द फिजिकल बॉडी विच हैज डाइड, एंड देन यू गेट अ न्यू फिजिकल बॉडी. एक्चुअली मैं आपको एक और बात बताऊं, आई होप आई डोंट कंफ्यूज यू. अगर आप ब्रह्मसूत्र पढ़ोगे, then you will realize that even the physical body, after it dies, there's something called an anu. Anu means like an atom. Choti si small portion of the physical body still remains. So although,
where does it remain?
With the subtle body. So it's like saying that a molecule or a few atoms of the physical body are still attached to the subtle body, and those physical body elements, they grow into the new physical body. So you don't completely give away your physical body also at death. You burn the physical body. You think you burned it, but along with the subtle body, which is traveling now, which has already left the physical body and gone, along with that have gone some anus, some small, very small particles, invisible particles of the physical body also have gone. So what has gone is the Chittabhasa Atma in the subtle body plus very little of the physical body. That's gone. It is so small, so little that it is invisible. So the physical body also never completely goes. I'm just trying to confuse you a little bit more by giving you that, because you wouldn't find that in normal folklore. Most people say, nahi, physical body gayi, nahi aa gayi. But in reality, if you really look deeper, then even the physical body doesn't completely go, because what grows into the new physical body? When the Atma acquires, or the subtle body acquires a new physical body, where does it come from, the new physical body? What grows into the new physical body? It's that small little atoms of the physical body which are still remaining. They grow back into the new physical body. Right? This is the mechanism for how it happens. Then they grow back, and then And when that work is done, then the rest of the physical body is gone again, and just those small atoms will travel with it. So what is actually traveling at the end of life is the subtle body plus reflected consciousness in the subtle body plus those small anus, small atoms of the physical body. That is what is traveling. That is jiva. That jiva never goes anywhere. That always travels. That is jiva. Now you are also jiva, because those three things are there in you. You have the your chitta-bhasa atma, you have your reflected consciousness, you have your subtle body, you have those anus. In fact, not just anus, those anus have grown into a full physical body. All that is there. You're a jiva. What will happen is this jiva, which is in its full manifest form right now, as a living being, at death will compact into an unmanifest form. It'll compact into a form where the subtle body will also compact. It will compact. The physical body also becomes like little anus. Of course, the chitta-bhasa atma remains. So that jiva is a very compacted jiva now after death, without 99.999% of the physical body. That jiva, that's still jiva, same you, just in a compacted form. Now you're traveling in that compacted form. Once you acquire the new physical body, you again get back to your full glory. Your subtle body, you'll get a new physical body. It'll keep growing. As the physical body grows, the subtle body will grow into the physical body. It'll expand all your sense organs and everything which had been lying dormant while traveling. They will open up. You will start experiencing things. You'll start feeling things, full glory. Then you'll get your due of experiences. You'll die again. Your jiva will get compacted again, right? And then you travel to the next one. So that is jiva. समझ आई कि नहीं?
ठीक है.
क्लियर हो गया?
समझ तो आ गई. एक चीज समझ नहीं आई कि in the next birth, why don't we remember our past birth? Since the same subtle body is traveling and taking a new birth, why we people don't remember our last birth?
But see, that is, you're assuming that the memory of everything is in the subtle body. So what is the memory is not carried forward. Actually what happens in each loka is not carried forward. The impressions of that action, the impressions of these things are carried forward. Do you understand? And those impressions you do remember. Everything that happened to you in all your lifetimes is there. Where is it? It is recorded in your sanchita, the vasanas. Where are those vasanas housed? They are housed in another body called the karana sharir, the causal body, which I'm not talking about because, I don't want to already, it's 10 o'clock at night. Okay, you guys are ready to sleep. But just imagine that there's a karana sharir too. So if you want to see the levels, there's the chitta-bhasa atma, there is the karana sharir, then there is the subtle body, right? Sukshma sharir, then there is the physical body, the sthula sharir. Okay? Everything gets compacted at death. Physical body gets compacted into little anus. The subtle body gets compacted in the sense that all the sense organs which are in the subtle body, they get compacted. The karana sharir is there, it doesn't get compacted, and the whole system travels to the next one. Now, what is traveling? What you call experiences, which you're trying to remember, they are in your physical body, they're in your brain. Those experiences is not something that you have to continue, but the impressions left by those experiences are there and they are continuing. And it is the impressions of those experiences which are creating the next experience for you, which become your nature. We say our nature kya hai? That nature is the impressions left by the experiences. So remember, all the things you're talking about, the events that are happening, सब कुछ हो रहा है, these are physical things connected with your physical body. अगर तू सो जाएगा, तेरी physical body बंद हो गई, समझो, तेरे को कुछ याद नहीं रहेगा तो कुछ है ही नहीं, because you need the physical body to experience the lokas. Without the physical body, you can't experience. Without the physical body, you can't even remember, because the memory is all in the brain, right? So all of these things are part of the physical realm, which goes away. The subtle realm is what is more important. Subtle mein, these are just experiences which go forward, right? Now, some people say, मेरे को पुराने जन्म की बातें याद आ गई. I don't know. I mean, maybe कुछ होगा mechanism जो मेरे को नहीं समझ आता. But as far as I can understand and I can see, and as far as I know, there is a difference between a physical reality, which is there connected to this loka, and the impressions of it, which carry forth into the next loka.
इनफैक्ट हमें अपने इस बर्थ का भी सब कुछ तो याद नहीं रहता. लाइक हमें सिर्फ व्हाट आई डोंट रिमेम्बर 2 साल की जब मैं थी या 3 साल की जब मैं थी. आई डोंट रिमेम्बर एवरीथिंग. कोई कोई इम्प्रेशन, कोई कोई
Yeah.
एक्सपीरियंस याद रहता है. सब
Depending
कुछ तो
upon
याद नहीं रहता.
your capabilities of your brain, you may remember more or less. But that
No,
depends on the characteristics of your body. Brain is
Yeah.
part of the physical body.
But you remember only few things. You don't
Yeah.
remember everything.
You don't remember everything. And you know, the reason for this is also because you're supposed to gain experience. You can only gain experience, only certain prarabdha karmas. You can gain experience if your memory of the past and your understanding of the future are both covered. अगर आपको सब पता है पुराने जमाने में क्या हुआ, आपको पता है आगे क्या होने वाला है, सब कुछ पता है, then you won't get experience. Then experience means, like, what is experience? When you don't know the future, that is experience. When you are not expecting something good to happen and that good happens, that's what happiness is. You're not expecting something bad to happen and the bad happens, that's what pain is. If you already know these are things going to happen, और उसके बाद ये होगा, ये होगा, ये होगा, you will not experience pain and pleasure. That means if you don't experience pain and pleasure, that means you're not experiencing experience. The idea for your life is to give you the experience of pain and pleasure based on what you've done in the past, right? This whole game, it's like if you know the result of your game already, you will not enjoy the match. तुम क्रिकेट का गेम देखने गए हो, तुमको पता है तो इंडिया ने जीतना ही है, right? So, okay, very nice batting, very good. So there's some level of enjoyment, but it's not the experience. Experience comes when you don't know the future, and also when you don't know the past. If you knew these are all the things you've done, and now you can calculate, because of all the things I've done, these are the results I'm going to get, right? Because you know the law of karma. तुमने इतने बुरे काम करे हैं, अब तुमको पता है अब इसके रिजल्ट तो मिलेगा ही बुरा. क्या एक्सपीरियंस रह गया फिर? So you know. So that is so in fact where I'm going is that this ignorance that we have as jivas is very important. It's an intrinsic part of being a jiva. If we didn't have this ignorance, we will be Ishwar. We will not be jivas. We would have complete knowledge. The reason why we are jivas is because we have ignorance. That is why we have something called experience. Because everything is new, everything is fresh, everything is like unexpected. Like, oh, this happened, good and bad both. Why is that? Because we have experience. Because everything is covered for us. We don't know. ईश्वर को तो सब पता है. अगर हमको ये सब पता हो तो हम भी ईश्वर बन जाएंगे. We won't be jivas anymore. And you will get to that state once you've reached liberation. Then you may, because they say that after liberation, after Videha Mukti, you become Ishwar only. But Ishwar's knowledge is not like the knowledge you are having. Imagine if you knew everything all at once. What do you know? Even when we think about, we want to know everything, we think about knowing it in time. पहले मुझे ये भी पता चल गया, ये भी पता चल गया, ये भी पता चल गया. Incremental. That's what our minds can deal with. But if you knew everything all the time, past, present, future, everything, what experience would that be? Try to imagine. Would that be an experience that you would call experience? Because for you, when you say I want to know everything, you mean every little thing I want to know in sequence, so that you can absorb what you know bit by bit. Ishwar's mind knows everything about the past, knows everything about the future, knows everything about everything, every moment. That's a very different kind of experience. We can't even imagine that experience, but that's the experience we have. That is our true nature. That experience, which all of us have, that knowledge everybody has, is covered by Maya. It's covered in a way that only one little thing is known at a little time. And we call that experience. Once we get moksha, we know everything all the time. These experiences won't matter anymore. What that is going to look like, what is it going to feel like, I can't even imagine. But doesn't matter, because my nature is fullness. My nature is contentment. My nature is happiness. My nature is, luckily for me, my nature is peace. I can be at peace with little knowledge. I can be at peace with all knowledge. And you'll find that from your experience. You don't know anything about the future. You don't know anything about the past. And you are perfectly at peace. It doesn't matter. because you are complete. You are Brahman. Right? चलो, I think अब बहुत हो गया.
चलो
हो गया.
तुम्हारी नींद ना उड़ जाए कहीं. ये सोचते सोचते. चलो.
ये सुन के नींद बहुत बढ़िया आती है.
Very good. Good. Sleep well, यार. Very important. All right, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Dheeraj.
Not at all.
Okay, good night.
Bye.
Bye.